what is, discussions you have with, you want to say, those who are outside the country about Nigeria, what is it like as it is?
Well, when it comes to doing business in Nigeria, several people outside Nigeria are very afraid to do business in Nigeria, and that has been affecting our economy. The major reason why too many people are very afraid to do business in Nigeria is because of insecurity. People are very afraid to come to the country because nobody wants to be kidnapped. Nobody wants to be attacked by armed robbers. The Boko Haram is still out there causing havoc in the country. The clash between the herdsmen and the farmers also has heightened the feeling of insecurity among people outside the country. And that is affecting business. That is affecting investment.
Yes.
People do not want to come and invest money in a country where they will be too afraid to get in. Now, this past Christmas, couple of my friends came into the country just for leisure. But most of them, they had to go with the police. They had to, hire some police security agencies to go with them about wherever they are going. That costs money. To have two policemen guide you every day because you don't want to be kidnapped or because you don't want to be harmed, it costs money. And not many people are even comfortable going about with police officers. And so from outside Nigeria, insecurity is the first reason why people don't want to do business with Nigeria. Of course, if you look at the latest document released by the World Bank on doing business in Nigeria, you can see that Nigeria dropped from 145 to 146. Mali took over the position of Nigeria. And so if you look at those things, they try to look at the various indices that either contribute to people coming, especially cross-border trades and all that stuff. So what we hear out there in the United States is that Nigeria is not safe. And this present administration ran on keeping this country safe, ran on keeping this country safe in 2015. We have not seen remarkable progress in that direction. Now, as the elections are approaching, tension is heightening. I mean, just yesterday I went to Maitama for a meeting and I needed the family to bring something over to me in Maitama, and they said, no, they can't come there. This is election period. And if people in Nigeria are so much afraid about insecurity in Nigeria, you can imagine what people out there are worried about.
Well, I'm sure it's not that bad.
No, I don't think it has gotten to that level. But indeed, I think that goes along with to show that there's an issue we need to resolve. Now, we're coming back to you, Kingsley. How do we change the narrative? Because
see some of the success stories. Say that it's America first, and the issue of protectionism, around issues concerning the US, we've seen how he's driven that. Now let's look at Nigeria. What's the stand like? Because I know the president was also in the United States, and the issue of, can we also say that we have that scenario where we say Nigeria first and put our own issues in front?
Yeah, I think that the last time the president was in the United States, that was also about the time we had our World Bank, IMF spring meeting. And I represent African civil societies at the World Bank and IMF Civil Society Policy Forum Working Group. And at that time too, there was the Nigerian embassy and some group of businessmen and women organized that investment summit at the Nigerian embassy in DC. And you all know how that ended, that even the key players in development from Nigeria were not even there when the summit was about to start. So that agrees, that resonates with what my colleague has said, that the country must have to do some more work in also promoting and trying to attract investors to the country. At that meeting, investors and businessmen were all available and around, but yet the key players in driving the economy in the country were not even available to meet with the investors and to discuss with them on the opportunities available for them here in Nigeria. And then the leaders, Nigerians must also put Nigeria first and not their own personal interest or their own regional or ethnic interest first. So our leadership must do a lot of work in making it possible and letting the world know that we are going to grow an economy. We are open to welcoming people to come and invest in our country. It's good to, one thing is to rebrand and tell people you're welcome to Nigeria. One thing is to make sure that when they come to, another thing is to make sure that when they come to Nigeria, they are able to meet good business environment. He is right. The policies we have in Nigeria make it quite difficult for people to invest in Nigeria. I mean, if you have looked at the doing business that the World Bank brought up, and I think they focused on Lagos and Kano, even though we see remarkable improvement, it's still quite difficult to receive registration documents from the government, to get office spaces to do business, to access funding and loans, and all that associated with starting and growing businesses in Nigeria. So we need to look at policies. Nigeria only reformed 4 trade and eco business policies just for the past year. So government regulations can put a lot of red tapes that make it difficult for people to do business. And people are not going to come to a country where it would take them an arm and a leg, it costs them an arm and a leg to establish business. They go to another country that the policies are friendly to them, and then they can do business in those areas.
All right, let's we'll still need to take you up on the issue of leadership because
in Nigeria, a better place. We do not have sufficient programs, which is something that we have consistently said that is lacking in the leadership in Nigeria. And once the leadership is not right, and that's what the system would not be right. And the problem we have with the young people today is that the leadership of the country is not providing good example to the young, nor is the leadership providing opportunities for young people to develop their skills and talents, to build capacities, competencies, and character, to be able to contribute their own quota in helping facilitating development, ending poverty, and making Nigeria a better place. We do not have sufficient programs. We do not have well-designed. We do not have a system that encourages, that helps mentors and nurtures young people to become good leaders. Because those that are leading already have nothing to offer. As the Latin would say, nemo dat quod non habet. Nobody gives what he hasn't. So Nigerian youths are very disenchanted. They're very angry. They're not happy because there are no opportunities. And that's why you see many of them are going into Yahoo business, cyber crime, and going into all forms of crimes, kidnapping. Even the Boko Haram boys too, if they are well engaged and if there are things for them to do and earn a living, most of them might go for those opportunities than to be causing havoc and causing problem in the community. You see that there's a huge unemployment in our country.
Yes.
And once young people are not employed, there will be restiveness among the young
and that
people.
also affects issues around investment.
It affects issues because then when these young people are doing all these Yahoo and they are doing cyber crimes and everything, nobody wants to come into a country where you will just come in and your money will just be siphoned overnight. People have this very negative perception about our country that we have a lot of crimes, or your money is not safe, and we have a lot of corruption everywhere, and so people do not want to come and invest in a country. And even when you lose your money, there's no way to get it back. For example, in the United States, your credit card or even your money in the bank, you are not responsible. If it gets lost, the bank will get it back.